All right, welcome to my stream. And if you're watching this after the fact, welcome to my YouTube channel. So, with these streams, what I'm trying to do is kind of show you how I'm practicing, whether it's like to refine a technique, improve my chops, or just kind of having fun learning something. So, like last weekend, I showed you that I was working on Advanced Funk Studies, solo number 2, which is from this book. And it's called Advanced Funk Studies by Rick Latham. And then I was also just kind of chopping out on Saturday because I just wanted to have fun, just making some music. So today I'm actually going to be working on my accents and taps. So specifically focusing on just trying to stay nice and relaxed while doing them because I want to make sure that I have nice stick hum while I am playing. And if you haven't seen that video, you can find it. Scroll all the way down to the technique section. It's the one that says, what does relaxed drumming technique sound like? And it'll explain like what stick hum sounds like, which instead of playing like this, it sounds more like, so don't know if you can hear that, but I emphasize it in the video so you can actually check it out. So that's my goal today. That's what I'm going to be working on specifically for the stream. But in general, with my streams, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to learn from any experience. And if I happen to be like streaming with other people, like my wife or some of my friends, then I will try and be encouraging of others and whatnot. I want to have fun, whether it's gaming, drumming, whatever. So normally when I do my warm-up session, I'll play through like SCV's Schlitz and Giggles. But today what I actually want to do is just show you a different way that you can warm up. And it doesn't require actually knowing that particular exercise. So what I'm going to do is actually set my metronome. Hopefully you'll be able to hear that. And let me change the camera angle. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to post in the chat on Twitch the link to that video so you can check it out. All right, so that's the link to the video. Okay, so I'm going to be warming up just using my wrists. I'm actually not going to use some sticks, and I'm going to do something called pyramid. So it's where you are going to start with alternating for an entire measure, 16th notes. Then you're going to do twice as much on each hand, so double strokes for an entire measure, then twice as much on each hand, so you do 4 strokes, and then 8, 16, 32, etc. So that's what I'm going to do to warm up. Let me change the camera. Okay, so here I go. 1, 2, start with alternating. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now doubles. 2, 3, 4, 6, 4 strokes. Now 8, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4 counts. Double that again. So now 2 entire measures. My talking is messing me up, which is funny. Now 4 measures. Off the left. Measure 3. Measure 4. And then you can do this again. 4 strokes. 2, 3, 4, 8. 8. Whole measure. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2 measures. Okay. So now I'm going to actually speed this up. I'm going to do it at 100. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and alternating. Doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 strokes. 8. A measure. 2 measures. Okay, so when I'm doing this, my goal is to just move the wrist. So I'm not focusing on any kind of finger technique. I'm not working on anything like that. I'm just trying to move my wrist. You can do this by actually putting your wrist down and knocking like this. That's another way to do it. I personally like to just kind of have it off instead of laying flat like that. Just allows for more natural wrist bend, go down as well as up while doing it. So that's just kind of my own approach when I'm doing something like this. Another way you can do this is you can literally just put your wrists together and just clap your hands. So this is something that Jojo Mayer demonstrates in one of his instructional videos, is just sitting there and doing that. So that's another way that you can warm up. Now, another one that I want to show you is kind of a weird one. So I learned this from Murray Gussick. So you use your sticks, but instead of playing like this normally, you're actually going to, as if like somebody, if you're like a puppet and somebody had a string through your wrist and they were to just kind of lift up on it, on that string, then all you're doing is moving your wrist up. So you kind of have these like T-Rex arms, and then you move a little bit closer. So let me move this. So you move in like to here. Okay, so your goal when doing this is to move your wrist, and it looks ridiculous. I know, trust me. I've watched myself in the mirror on video many times doing this, but it works really well for just kind of like strengthening your taps and whatnot. So I'm going to do this again, same speed. And now I'm going to do it with a T-Rex arms or praying mantis style, or however you want to call this. All right, 1, 2, here I go. And I'm definitely feeling the burn. This is a really weird technique, but it works really well. My left is not having it today. Okay. Let me switch back. Okay, so my goal is I want to be able to actually play through some of the exercises at the top of this page. I'm going to specifically be working on accents and taps while doing this. And so I want to make sure that I'm nice and loose while I'm playing. So now that I've kind of gotten the blood flowing in my arms, I'm going to do some stretches. So you may have seen this in some other streams or videos that I've done. So have my sticks like this, and I pull one under, and then the other like that. So this gives a nice stretch on the outside of your forearms. I'm definitely feeling it today. I pulled a muscle in my shoulder yesterday. Oof, no fun. So we'll see how it impacts my playing. And I say that because not that I'm like going to be drumming with a whole bunch of shoulder technique or anything, but because like when you're tight in your shoulder, it tightens up your bicep, which then tightens up your forearm, which leads into like tight wrists and fingers and whatnot. So it's all connected. Actually, let me change the angle of this. So now I'm going to stretch my wrists this. I do the other side, stretching the underside of the forearm. That was a little tighter. All right, so now I'm doing the same thing with the side. You know what? I just realized that this microphone wasn't actually plugged in, so whoops, my bad. All right, so stretching the top side, that part's good. Now I'm stretching the other side, or the other arm. Yeah, it's tight up here. And now I'm going to stretch the fingers one at a time. Okay, so that was the thumbs, now the pointer. I like to do these stretches every time I'm playing, after I've gotten the blood flowing in my arms. I don't want to pull anything like the muscle in my shoulder. So I like to do something, whether it's shits and giggles or what I was just demonstrating, just kind of getting my wrists going. And then I'll do the same warm-up sequence again. Okay, so now I'm actually going to stretch my upper body a little bit more, so do some shoulder shrugs. Oh. Yep, that's definitely where I feel it. My left shoulder. So if my left hand is bad today, I'll blame it all on that. Bump that a little bit. All right, so a really good stretch that I love to do, and the first time I did this, it just like rocked my world. So you put your arm up in the air, you just kind of hold your head, and then you just take your arm and lower it. And the first time I did this, I was just like, oh my gosh, I saw stars. Okay, now the next step is to just kind of gently provide some resistance as you move your head up. And then you go back down. And this stretches all along here. It's wonderful. And this is the part that's really tight because of my pulled muscle in my shoulder blade. Okay, so now that I've kind of stretched everything, I want to actually massage the different parts. So just kind of loosening up. So I'm starting on the upper body because of the tension that I'm experiencing. And my bicep actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be, all things considered. So I'm going to go ahead and go with forearm now. Okay, so put your fingers underneath and your thumb on top. And just kind of massage both the top and underside of your forearm. And either you can continue with this hand or you can just switch to the other one. It's tight right up here. Okay, now I'm gonna massage the hand. So my underside, my fingers, are massaging the back of my palm, while my thumb is massaging the inside of my palm. Now you may take less time than I am, you may take more time. It just really depends on how you're feeling that day. Massaging the fingers, starting right at the base of the finger and going to the tip. I usually do about 2 of these for each finger, sometimes more. All right. So now I'm actually going to go back and do the same thing that I was doing for my warm-up. So I'm going to just knock. And now you'll actually be able to hear it a little bit better. Okay, so again, doubling every single time, starting with alternating. 1, 2, 16th notes. Two measures. Again, just focusing on the wrist motion. And switch. All right, so now I'm going to do it praying mantis style, or T-Rex style. I do see somebody's watching. If you have a preference for a name, let me know. If you are watching this on YouTube after the fact, feel free to comment below which one is a funnier name. I'll go with that for future streams. All right, so same thing, but now I'm going to do it with a weird technique. 1, 2, here I go. Just kind of checking out my technique while I'm doing this. Here's a side view of what it looks like. Okay, so the goal is to stay nice and relaxed while doing it. Let me adjust this. Okay, now I'm going to do it faster. I like to push myself. So this is now 110. Let's see how this goes. And I'll do it from a side view so you can see what that looks like with a motion. 1, 2, here I go. All right, it's quite the workout doing that. So now I'm actually going to play it normally. Let's try faster. I haven't done this one in a while. Okay, so now I'm just playing. I'll go for just a nice, like, I don't know, 4-inch height. 1, 2, here I go. Focusing all on wrist, as you can see here. With the wrist spin. Guess you can't see it from that angle. Yeah, slow down. Let me actually turn this off, so you can see what I'm talking about here. All right, so while I'm doing this, it was all wrist. So I wasn't doing not fist motion, doing finger motion like this. What I was doing was that up and down wrist motion. So just trying to stay nice and relaxed. So that way, if my fingers are nice and loose, then it will make it a whole lot easier for me to like play faster notes because my fingers will be nice and relaxed. All right, that's a different way that you can warm up. But what I specifically want to work on is my accents and taps, because I want to work on some different grid variations. So I'm going to show you some different ways that you can do that. Before I do that, I actually realized I should probably explain something. So I heard from an instructor that I had. I heard from an instructor that I previously studied with that they, when they studied with Paul Rennick, they had heard of only a few different types of stroke types. So one is where you start up and you end up like this. Let me zoom in. Okay, one stroke type is where you start up and end up. One other stroke type is where you start up and you end down. Where you start down and you end down. And then when you start down and you end up, like this. Okay, so here's up, up. Start up, end up. Here's up, down. So we're starting up here, ending low. When I do this particular stroke, let me back up. When I do this up, up stroke, it's all about just getting out of the way of the rebound. So I'm not hitting and then pulling it back up. It's like dribbling a ball. So I'm literally just throwing it down and just letting it rebound back up with as little amount of effort or energy as possible because I want to be able to play all day. However, when I'm doing the up to down stroke, what I'm not doing is squeezing. I'm not going and squeezing the stick like, can you see it? There. I'm not doing that with my hand. What I'm doing instead is simply just stopping my wrist. So I throw it down and I just hold my wrist here and I just don't let my fingers come off the stick. It just stays nice and closed like this without squeezing them like that. Okay, so when I do an up down, just nice and relaxed like this. Now a down down stroke, again staying nice and loose. You can still get that stick hum that I mentioned in that video I showed at the start of the stream, and I'll include a link to it in the description if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube. So nice and relaxed here, still getting that stick hum, that vibration. When going from the downstroke to a high stroke, so low to high, this one you actually have to use your energy to pull the stick back up. Yes, you're trying to get out of the way of the rebound, but like just because of physics, you're not going to be able to throw it down in the stick and then just have it automatically bounce into the pad and have it automatically bounce back up into an upstroke. So when I'm playing through these exercises that I'm about to demonstrate, I'm going to be focusing specifically on staying nice and relaxed for these, allowing my wrist to stop the stick on the up to down stroke and staying nice and relaxed on the low strokes, and then to not squeeze when doing the low to high stroke. Okay, so those are the 4 different stroke types. Okay, so here's what we're going to be using today. So we're going to play through some grid sticking variations. And I'm going to start with the alternating downstroke triplet grid, which is this one. And I don't want to start at 40. I actually want to start at, let's try, oops, not 2 times speed. Let's try it at 60. Just nice, comfortable. So if I go into the description and then I scroll down, now I'm at 60. Okay. Check out the volume. I realized I was forcing the accents. So I intentionally relax a little too much, apparently. See, I share with you all my flaws. All right. That was fine. I actually want to go faster than that, though. So let's try 90. I'll make a full screen for you. Okay, so nice and relaxed. What I'm focusing on is the up-down stroke and the down-down strokes. So that's basically all there is. Okay, so while playing through that, I noticed my left hand in particular has a tendency to have that second note the note that's immediately after the accent, it's a little too high. So it's like maybe about a third of the height, and then it finally gets down to the tap height. Like that, as opposed to being all at the same height. So we don't want to have a decrescendo when I'm playing this. We want it to be just two heights, at least for right now, for what I'm playing. Okay, I also noticed while I was playing through that I had a tendency to just kind of squeeze a little bit and put too much weight on those accents. But when you're playing through this, you really just gotta just pull the stick back and just let gravity do the work for you, especially because I'm going to play this a lot faster, and I want to just be nice and loose when we get into the faster speeds. Okay, so let's do this again, and we're going to do it at 100. Okay. Stay nice and relaxed while playing it. Oops, totally messed up the sticking there. I'm going to do it at the same tempo range. Okay, now let's go faster. Let's go to 120. Just realized I can just scroll down without having to minimize and maximize the window. Pro tip. All right, stay nice and relaxed. Little brain fart there. Let's try this again. All right, so if while I was doing this, if I continue to have that decrescendo with like one of my hands while doing this, I'd actually slow it back down like 10 clicks. And if it still continues, then I'd keep going as slow as I need to go. Even if it's like 40 and I'm like going through each one of the notes like that, that's totally okay. All right, it's fine. So I'm actually going to speed it up some more and try and find my breaking point. Oh, keep that large screen. So let's see how 150 sounds. Honestly, have no clue. Had a brain fart on line 2. I thought I was playing line 3. Whoops. Late. Okay, a little bit better. Let's try going faster. I have no idea how this is going to sound. Oops. Ah! All right, try it again. Okay, so what I noticed when I was playing it at that faster speed, the left hand on the very last line had a tendency to do decrescendo after that high right, immediately into the left again. Okay, so that would be something that I would work on. Okay, so I found a good breaking point for me. So that is one way that you can actually work on the up-down strokes and keeping nice relaxed taps. Okay, now I'm going to actually flip it. So now I'm going to play the inverted version with the alternating upstrokes. If I go back to here, click on this version. What this is going to work on is the taps leading into an accent. So it's going to go, okay, so all of the accents will come after you've played some taps on the same hand, as opposed to the other way where it's the taps come after an accent on the same hand. Okay, so for this one, I'm not as good with this particular stroke as the other one. So I'm going to start at 60, and then I'll speed it up, and we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm just trying to focus on staying nice and relaxed while applying this technique into different contexts, or different strokes in this case. Okay, pretty good. I was staying pretty relaxed throughout that. I'm going to speed it up. It's nice and comfortable. I do highly recommend focusing on one thing while playing through an exercise rather than I'm going to work on this, 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 and this. It's just too much for the brain. For me, it's all about playing relaxed right now. Okay, still doing good. Let's speed it up. Let's try 110. In this case, we want to make sure we don't have a crescendo leading the accent, like that. Okay, I probably shouldn't have done such a big of a jump for the tempo. My technique is different. So I'm going to sit with this for a few reps around the 110, 115 range, until it starts to feel more comfortable. Okay, it's getting better. Staying nice and relaxed. Okay, so I know it's relaxed because I'm actually getting that stick hum that I mentioned in that video that's at the bottom of the technique page. And so I'm able to feel it. Even if you can't hear it, like if you're playing too fast, you can feel the stick like tickling your fingers as it vibrates. But if you're holding on to it too much, you won't feel that vibration. So while I'm doing this, like on these taps, I can feel all of those are vibrating, whereas right now they are not vibrating. So when I loosen up, I'm getting that nice and relaxed. Okay, I'm going to speed it up because I want to find my breaking point, and I want to, one of the reasons why I do this at these exercises, like while I'm focusing on staying nice and relaxed, is I want to speed this up to find what does my technique do when I get to my breaking point. So that way I can go back and refine that, like on another day or in the next exercise that I'm going to work on. So let's speed this up. Let's try 130. Won't be able to play this as fast as the downstrokes, but that's okay. I'll still be able to learn from it to figure out, hey, this is what I can work on for next time. Okay, I'll do it one more time at that speed, 131. So I got to the very last line, and I started to play the downstroke version, and then I realized, wait, I shouldn't do that, and it was too late. I messed up. So that's what happened there. Silly brain. Playing a different exercise. All right, I'm going to try 145 now. You notice there's these little breathers here that makes it so that you can click on it every like 5 BPMs and kind of like run back to your instrument. Okay, not great. Let's try it again. Ah! It's mental right now. I swear I know how to play. Yeah, it's that hand-to-hand transition. That's where I'm messing up. So what I'm doing right now, because I've identified a consistent error that I'm having, is I'm breaking it down into a chunk that I just kind of loop. So in this case, I'm looping the very last line of this repeatedly. And so I'm starting at a tempo that I'm comfortable with, and then just kind of like gradually slowing or speeding up, not slowing down, so I can try and find where my breaking point is, and then I'll kind of like hover just under that breaking point and then try and push it a little bit more. So that's what I'm doing right now. I found my breaking point. That's two times in one stream so far. See, I'm playing nice and relaxed. A little too relaxed. That was mental. I shortened the chunk that I wanted to work on, and I'm looping that now. getting a lot of vibrations. It's making things rattly. Don't know if you can hear it on your end, but apologies if so. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, way better. Okay, so see, breaking it down into chunks, and then I had to break it down in an even smaller chunk, and then you just go back and put it in context, see if it sounds better. If not, try it again. Okay, so now I'm going to try and find a new breaking point for this. Let's try 160. All right, not bad. Why didn't you stop? Since that wasn't a breaking point, I'm gonna try it faster. Okay. Okay, so it technically wasn't terrible, but where I was having a breaking point was in my technique. So while I was doing this, I was kind of like forcing in those upstroke accents. So I'm going to do this one more time at 171, but I think this is my breaking point in terms of technique, just kind of like bailing on me. I'm getting a little too tight while doing this. Let's try this again. Okay. Not bad, but not great. This will definitely be my breaking point. Nice and relaxed. Try 180. Oh, yep, definitely my breaking point. Messed up on the very last line, second half in particular. Okay, so that was specifically trying to break down the high stroke to the low stroke when I was doing the downstroke version. And then this one was trying to specifically focus on the low stroke to a high stroke. But now I'm going to do a combination of all the different stroke types. So what I'm going to do is diddle sticking with triplet grid. So this one is funky if you've never done it before. It's actually the second one on this playlist. And I'm going to go at 40 just to show you what it looks like and hopefully be able to narrate what's going on while I'm doing this. So there's going to be a lot of downstrokes and upstrokes and even some upstrokes. So downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, downstroke again, upstroke, downstroke, up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, upstroke. There is a down. Oops. There's up, up. Okay. So in addition to, where was that? The one pattern, the very last line where we have the two rights in a row as up, up. There's also some more in here. So we have, where is it? Right here. See how we end with an upstroke on the right hand? And then we have two left hands followed by a right hand. So that right there is technically an up, up stroke. So we go from low to high and then high to low. We just happen to have two lefts in between it. So when I'm playing this, I don't want to do that. I don't want to bring my hand back down. I want to practice it how I want to practice this when I'm doing it fast. So, okay. And then the same thing with the left hand. So we have right here, this part. So we have, okay. So that's what I'm going to try and focus on when I do this again. Let's try it at 41. It's the slowest count off ever. There's one. Here's one. See how I'm keeping the stick up? There's one. Oops. Here's one. Whoops, a little too high on my tap. Okay, so hopefully that gives you like a good demonstration of what you should do. Whoops. I'm looking at some of these songs, and I'm like, what? Why are we, like, I understand triplet grid, because I'm playing triplet grid, but like, why are we getting recommendations for Drew Barrymore? Like, I don't get you, YouTube. All right, let's try this at 70. Again, just trying to stay nice and relax. Oops. Okay. Decent, just some brain gunk preventing me from playing it great. Try faster. Oops. I added in a 3-stroke in there, I think. All right, we got to do this at 91. Okay, still wasn't great, so I'm doing it at 92. Okay, I keep having an issue in line 2 in particular, and I don't like how it sounds, so I'm going to slow it back down because I'm not satisfied with that quality of playing. So I keep messing up, like what is an upstroke with diddles in between on the left. So I'm going to refine that. That's where I'm messing up. So I keep adding in an extra upstroke in there, and I don't want to do that. Like there. Isolating out the different strokes. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. We'll do it at 81. Arms are so tight from that pulled muscle. Don't recommend it. If you haven't tried it, don't. Okay, a little bit better, but still not really where I want it. A little late. Yeah, it's still that one spot. Okay, let's try this again. Itchy nose. Okay, a little better. I want to make sure it's not a fluke, so I'm going to play it again, just one click faster. Oops. That was me looking over and seeing if, thinking in my head, oh, is that a new thing? A new comment? No, it's not. So That was all just distraction. Okay, so now I'm going to try this again, and we're actually going to go up to 95. So this is faster than I was playing it before, but we'll just see if like kind of slowing it down and breaking this part makes it a little bit easier for me to play faster. Okay, so that was significantly better, and it was 5 clicks faster than I was doing before I slowed it down. There's a bit of a paradox when practicing in that in order to play faster, you need to actually play better, slower. So if I get to a breaking point where I'm just like, I can't do this, I'll slow it down. Sometimes it's only 10 clicks. Sometimes I'll go all the way down into like 30 or 40 BPM and work on something and gradually build it up. When I'm practicing it slow, I'm specifically focusing on what is the technique I want to strive for when playing fast. So like on these diddles, when I'm doing them, the upstroke with a diddle in between. If I was practicing this at 40, and I didn't have that upstroke stay up while I'm doing these two notes, then it would eventually make it so that when I play this fast, as opposed to letting the stick stay up. If I was trying to force it in, it just wouldn't sound good. It wouldn't feel good. It's going to slow you down in the long run. So focus on practicing slow with the technique you'll use when you are playing fast. Tip of the day. Okay, let's try this faster. And let's try it at 100. Okay, a little bit better. And just for funsies, let's see how this goes. I don't know. Okay, so 2 mistakes, but I was able to recover, so that's not bad. Almost added an extra right. You may have saw it creep up and was like, wait, no! And then I lowered it. So maybe you didn't see that. Maybe you did. I don't know. But now you know. Okay, let's try this faster. That's how you do diddles, right? Bad attack. Ugh. Let's try that again. Nope. Yeah, I think I'm at that mental breaking point. So what I'm going to do, I like to end my sessions having fun At least for me, I think it's good to do that for practicing. Because otherwise, if all you do is just like refine, and you never go back and like just do something that you actually really enjoy doing, then you're eventually going to kind of like train yourself to hate practicing. So I highly recommend when you're practicing, just have fun at the end. So like I personally like to just chop out when I'm done practicing for the day. So I worked on my accents and taps today. It sounds significantly better, and I was able to improve some things. You may have heard that if you actually watched the full stream or are watching the full video after the fact. But now I'm going to play some chops. And let's go back to here. And again, this stuff is in the link in Twitch if you're watching this. And today I want to play through... You know, I was having fun with the chut cheese grid. Let's try that. So chut cheese on 1. And let's go to starting at 130. Ooh. What's nice is there's carryover from my accents and taps. They're fairly relaxed while I'm playing through this. Getting some flat flams. Speaking is messing me up. Something that I actually worked on for years back when I used to teach privately and teach drumline and whatnot is like being able to speak while I'm playing through an exercise so I can model things while doing it, but I'm a little rusty with it, so I'm messing up. Okay, so that sounds fine other than when I'm talking, so let's go 145. Let's try 160. I don't remember how fast I went last time I did this. I should go back and watch that video. So what I am going to do is actually go back and see. If you scroll through my video feed. Yeah, I know. We don't need to hear myself twice. There's one of me is plenty enough. Right. So chopping out on my drum pad. That's me talking twice again. Okay, so if we go down here, we can see chut cheese on 1 triplet grid. So I'm going to reverse it. All right, so it looks like 155 is probably the best that I played it at. So let's try it at 155. And let's see if I can go a little faster today. Come on, Jared, you can do it. I definitely got the tenor heights going on. Everything is all like 6 and 5. Just here and here the whole time. Sorry, tenors. Love ya. But your tap and accent differentiation, not always great. All right, so. Let's try it. 156. 1 click faster. Stay nice and relaxed. See if I can do it. Oh, my left hand immediate was just like, no, and it just squeezed. So that's unfortunate. Let's try it again. Nope. Okay, well, I found my breaking point and I had fun doing it, and that's all I wanted for that. All right, so that is how I was working on my accents and taps for today while having some shoulder pain. Thank you, pulled muscle. So hopefully you got something out of this, whether it was a different way of warming up or some different exercises that you can practice while you're playing, just to kind of work on your accents and taps, or even like a new way of thinking of different accents and tap different types. Tomorrow I will do another stream as long as my shoulder allows me to, and I will do this with some 16th note variations. So my goal is to do similar like downstroke, upstrokes, working on accent taps, just in a new context. So I want to see if I can take what I was applying today into another context and still have it carry over with playing nice and relaxed on the taps and letting the stick vibrate while I'm playing and whatnot. So that's the plan for tomorrow. So if you want to check that out, feel free to join me. Otherwise, you can watch this after the fact if you're not watching this live on Twitch. But I hope somebody out there got something out of this, and I hope you all have a good rest of your weekend. And I'm going to go ahead and log off and maybe game tonight, maybe stream. I don't know. So if you want, join me. We can chat. Anyways, bye.